A very warm welcome to another episode of Fauza's Diary. If you are looking for something little and yet inspiring, then you have stumbled upon the right show. That's the beauty about my diaries. They inspire us, they encourage us, but also they make us think. Joining me today is my sister friend, Dr. Nongnush Ammoury. Well, she has a lot of roots. Born and bred in Thailand, my favorite country. Grew up in Paris, so she speaks French. And she calls UAE her home. This is what happens when you're a global child. When you're a child of the universe, a child of God who has been everywhere. And it's so amazing. And I really, really regard her to be one of the most and nicest women I've met in Dubai. And I'm just so grateful that she actually said yes to do this conversation with me. And I really want you guys to sit back, relax, get your cup of coffee, juice, whatever you fancy to drink, and sit down and let's have this conversation, because this one is very special. Dr. Nongnush Ammoury. Thank you, sister, for saying yes to having this conversation. Please take a minute or so to introduce yourself to our viewers so that they can really get to know you better.
Thank you, Fauza. And very nice to be with you today after we have postponed many times because of our schedules. Yeah, and thank you for having me too here. And I'm really looking forward to share some learnings from my personal experience with you all here. Okay, so where to start? Because I had life has many years already in the past. You want me to start from the very beginning or start from now?
What I would love for you to share, Dr. Nongnush, is you are Thai, grew up in France, in Paris. And I know there was a journey, that something happened in that season of your life that made you flee to Paris. So if you can take us back to a few decades, so that we really have an understanding of what led you to Paris and why.
All right. So just like you say, I was born in Bangkok, Thailand. And like any child, any girl, I had my very peaceful and smooth life in a small Chinese family. My parents worked hard to support us, to provide for us, and we really has a nice life and quiet life. We could do anything we wanted, and I have a lot of siblings. Actually, we are 10 kids in
you
the
are
family.
10, Dr. Nongnush?
Yeah. We are all 10 kids of my parents. We are 8 girls in a row from number 1 to number 8. And number 9 and 10 are boys. So we are like a kind of mini school at home all the time, right? And very handful for my parents and for my grandparents as well. My parents were very, very busy doing business because they needed to work and to provide for us. So at home, most of the time, it was my grandmother who took care of us, and everything went fine until 1975. There was the Vietnamese War raging in the neighbor countries around Thailand, actually. And my father used to do the commerce with people from Vietnam and from Cambodia. So by that time, Saigon fell under the communism, and followed by Cambodia. And then all the friends of my dad were just saying to my dad, you would see Thailand will be the next. So you would better send your children, half of your children at least, to Paris, because they are going to to be refugees in Paris. I just told my parents, just send half of kids there, and I'm gonna take care of them. No worries.
So your father sent you to Paris as refugee?
Well, not really, because Thailand at that time was still a peaceful country. So he just sent us as a private, send children to study in the foreign countries. So for me at that time, it was like, whoa, so excited to go to see La Tour Eiffel, of course, to see Louvre and Champs-Élysées. That's the dream, right? I was 15 years old at that time, actually.
It's
so
everyone's dream. It's everyone's dreams to be in Paris. They say it's the city of love.
I tell you, and study French on the top, right? I was at 15 years old, I was destined to study science because I love science. I was very good in mathematics and physics and biology. And so I wanted to become a doctor. So for me, go to Paris and learning French was kind of not really my branch, because in Thailand, or you learn science or you learn art, which is French, English or French. So as a already scientific on my scholar journey, I was telling myself like, okay, now I'm going to study French too, which is good. It's another riches on the top. And arrive in Paris. We are just imagine like 5 girls in a row, like with my dad, who accompanied us to Paris, leaving my grandma and all other 5 children, my sisters and brothers at home. So we cried a lot, of course, at the airport. And once we arrived in Paris, I forgot about Bangkok. Nothing anymore. So excited about visiting Paris. And we spent like 1 month, settle down, visiting all the places in Paris that we needed to visit. And life was beautiful. Yeah. So my dad rented an apartment for 3 of us, because the 2 others, they preferred to go to England because they could speak English. But I decided, okay, even I did not speak 1 word of French. I want to learn French. And for sure, I'm gonna be able to speak French because I'm in France, right? One way or the other, I'll get there. So my father settled up us in a big apartment with television, sofa, kitchens, and everything was equipped. And once everything was fine, the routine started to run. He said, okay, girls, now I have my business to take care of. Bye-bye. And he went
And he
home.
left you in Paris at 15. Yes. You are 15.
I was 15.
Yeah, so Dr. Nush, could you please share a bit about what was happening in your head? Because it's not like you wanted to, but circumstances, forced you to be in another country, which was something it's a big challenge. It's a big thing to do, leaving what you know to the unknown. You are 15, and then Papa says, okay, au revoir, au revoir. He goes back to Bangkok. Could you share a little bit what happened in that goodbyes, or even better, what was life after Papa left? How was life? What was life like?
Yes, like at the beginning, at 15, I was very adventurous and very open, very curious. So for me, it was just like, okay, now it's my time. No parents to control, right? So I was like, the world belonged to me. I wanted to go and discover and learn French, very enthusiastic. And I lived in Paris with another sister, which is 2 years older than me, and another one which is younger than me. So we are 3 of us trying to make lives go on, the routine, starting by learning how to cook, because we never cooked at home. So we had to discover how to cut the chicken in pieces and how to really peel the veggies and cook the very simple food to eat. And then kind of, we had fun actually at the beginning. And that was in summer, July and August, and then September came. There was the change started to really hit us, because September, starting of the fall, the weather turned, you know, from sunlight, from sunshine and warmth into the rainy season, the cold and the dull. And now the weather, really the bad weather of Paris hit us here in the emotions.
Did you had homesick? Did you feel homesick?
That was the starting of the homesick feeling, actually. Because, oh my God, I never lived this kind of weather in Thailand, because in Thailand, you know that it is always sunny and warm and hot and vibrant, actually. Now, when we start the fall in Europe, it's cold, it's dark, you know, the dark cloud, it's rain, gloomy. So we started to really question us, what are we doing here? And where we want to go forward from now on. Plus the clicking point for me was just one day I looked, you know, the beginning of September, I looked out the window and I saw all the kids so joyous, so joyful, running and walking and chatting, going to school, because it is the starting of the school. And I thought back to myself, well, I just left the grade 10 in Thailand. Now I wanted to go to grade 11 here. I needed to go to school, but how? We didn't know anybody in Paris apart from my sisters, nobody. So where to go, what to do, how to go to school, we didn't know. Right? So we started by really going to visit my father's friend, who promised us to support us, actually, and tell them, you know, we want to go to school. What should I do? What could we do? And she just said, oh, tu dois aller à la mairie et tu vas enregistrer à la mairie. Okay.
Okay, what is that?
And what is that? What is mairie? What should I do? Yeah, you just go there. Go aller à la mairie. Okay, what is mairie?
Exactly.
Yeah, what is Mary? So, and who is Mary, by the way? Who is Mary? And we finally we look into the dictionary, Thai French, just to understand. Okay, mairie in French means town hall. Okay, we need to go and register at the town hall. Oh, but the town hall, we didn't speak French. How could you go to the town hall? How could you talk to people? Right? So I suggested to my sister, let's go and explore. Let's follow these kids where they go. Right? Yeah. So one day we just got prepared and just follow all those kids with the bag to the school, in front of the school. Actually, it's this is school of our area. This is where all the kids need to go to school. And we came home and we consulted ourselves, you know, we made a meeting. Now, what's next? Okay, next, my sister, my elder sister, she knew a few words of French. So she said, okay, let's go and talk. Let's go, just go into the school and talk to the principal. We went to the school and we just entered the school, three of us, speaking only a few words of French. And we went into the principal office and just let him know that we wanted to come to school. We wanted to attend the school. And he started to ask us, like, you know, where are your parents? Because we were like 13, 15, and 18 years old. Yeah. We don't have parents. Okay, so who are responsible of you? Nobody, just us. Then the principal was a young, how to say, an old gentleman who's very kind. And with his understanding, he accepted to admit us in the school and said, okay, so tomorrow just come at 8 o'clock at the starting of school, and we're gonna put you in the class. And we went home like so excited and jumped in and out, you know, like, okay, we are going to school now. And we started the school. Now, for me, instead of going to grade 11 to continue my study, because I needed to learn French, now the principal put me into grade 8, I would say, 2 years back. Plus, not in a normal class, in like a special class for French children who had family problem, social cases actually. So this class was very small, like maybe 20 children who had family problems, very difficult social cases. And I came from the elite school in Bangkok, and I was the first in class. So you see, the first time was like a shock. I said, oh my God, is that the French school that I dreamed of? See, because they are really difficult. They were rude with the teachers and all. But, you know, I knew I was there to learn French. So I was really a very good student, listen to the teachers. I didn't understand one word. That I would just copy, literally every word that the teacher put on the board. So that by the end of the day, when I came home, I could just open my dictionary and understood finally what the teacher said during the day. I was sitting there like 6 hours the whole day, understand nothing about what the teacher said. And I went home, and by 8 o'clock after dinner, working hard up to 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, study every word that I knew, that I learned actually from school, every day. 10 words, 50 words, one after the others.
Wow.
And it was just, you know, I don't know, at that age, I didn't know the discouragement. I would just, you know, I just wanted to achieve. I just wanted to succeed, to speak French. And it was, when I looked back now, I feel like, you know, at that age, I didn't have fear. Even I had homesick, but I knew deep down myself, I needed to achieve. I needed to succeed. I could not go home. I could not go back home now because, you know, it would be a failure if I went home at that time, right? So that is no choice for me.
Yeah. Well, that is braveness, you know, at such a younger age, to be in a new country and trying to navigate and to find your way. We are going to take a break, and when we come back, I want us to even accelerate this conversation, because I know your love for medicine started in Paris. So stay with us. Don't leave, don't do anything, just stay with us, continue sipping your coffee, tea, whatever you are drinking, and stick with us. We'll be right back with part 2 with Dr. Nush, as she shares her journey from Thailand to Bangkok, from Bangkok, Thailand to Paris, city of love. Don't go anywhere.